Voeld orbit is steady.
Approaching the LZ.
this room.
Rylus?
That's me, yes. I'm Rylus. Wow. You really showed up.
You said you had intel. I can't ignore that.
I just didn't think you'd come yourself. Anyway, I should get to the point. Your raid on the exaltation facility sent the Kett scrambling. They're trying to get their operations in order. Our scouts report increased Kett movement through certain areas of Voeld. Not military, though. Science and research vessels.
So something that could involve exaltation, or the creation of a new exaltation lab.
Well, that's what I thought. Either way, Kett organizing means trouble.
We don't have the tech to break into their bases, but someone has to stop them.
You're talking to the right person. We always help our friends and allies.
I knew you'd help. I'll send the nav point immediately.
Solid ground again.
You don't feel exposed? The Kett are everywhere.
I'd rather face them down here than stuck in a can up there. Entrance to Kett Command Center, straight ahead.
Activating automated forward station deployment. Mining zones in this region are available, Pathfinder. I've added them to your nav system. I'm detecting below normal temperatures.
Kett junk. Might be something useful.
I think that's it. Good work. Why would anyone near the end of their life take a chance joining the initiative?
Why would anyone at the start of theirs join up with strangers like us? Besides, who says I'm old? Who says I'm dying?
I don't think I said that.
You did.
I'm certain I didn't.
Now you're saying I'm deaf.
Ryder.
Nope, not getting involved.
Hey, you're not wrong, Chow. I am old, but I got a lot of living left. This is the place Rylas talked about. We got Kett.
There's a lot of organic material here. Angara, Kett, something else?
Scans could tell us more, Pathfinder. There is an audio log saved on this device, Pathfinder.
Kett? Let's get a translation, Sam.
Processing.
The Angara genetic code that expresses this projection of a bioelectric field has been isolated. The process to integrate this into our own genome is ongoing. Early success is documented. Once complete, adaptation should be distributed to all Ascendant and Helios. Ability may also prove useful as part of base soldier configurations. All research has been transmitted to the Empire.
Exaltation is not just about making more Kett. It's an exchange.
Let's see them try to exchange with the Krogan.
There's bound to be more here. Let's keep moving.
Another audio log detected.
Let's hear it.
Transmissions unacknowledged by Homeworld. Possible breakdown in connection and information mishandled. Investigation ongoing. Logs to be updated shortly.
Anything that delays or stops the Kett is a blessing.
I wonder if we can find the follow-up logs.
Information saved. Scanned and recorded.
All transmissions appear to have failed. Some of the team has suggested that this research is being prevented from leaving Helix. Troubling implications. Set aside for now. Taking steps to verify that primary communications are still active.
I'm picking up the nav point for another Kett station. Probably their primary communications.
Good. Let's blow it up.
Pathfinder, these samples all contain the same genetic sequence. At first, it appears to be a familial connection, but the genome shows signs of modification. Evidence suggests the sequence was drawn from a single individual and incorporated into other Kett.
The Archon.
Exaltation.
So does the Archon control the Kett because they see him as a progenitor? Or does his rank give him the privilege to propagate his genes like this?
A cultural question beyond my purview.
In any case, the stuff we found should be of great interest to the science team back on the Nexus.
Voeld. Bright side, no children. Every Kett an enemy. An enemy who used to be family. Right. We'll call it a wash.
Pathfinder, this area can be mined for resources. You can extract minerals via your mining interface.
Look, Kett set up camp.
Pathfinder, active remnant nearby. I suggest investigating. There's an Angaran device in this camp, Pathfinder. Scanning will provide more information.
Kett, on approach. Good targeting.
This bug should be feeding Kett information to the Resistance, but the connection was dropped.
Why? A technical issue?
Unknown. If you scan additional bugs, I can locate the broken link.
What's funny? Just remembering it.
Keep an eye on your temperature sensors.
This is the Kett comm outpost we heard about on Voeld.
Incoming Kett!
Hostiles ahead!
The temperature is falling, Pathfinder.
The Archon's not the Kett Supreme Leader. There's more like him, all over Andromeda.
Gathering the genetic information of other races and transmitting it back.
And making more Kett in the process.
Rose, communication rules require explanation. Archon commands a block of all transmissions of Angara data to the Empire. He's a breach of protocol.
The Archon's playing by his own rules.
questions. Only Archon is aware of shifting situation in Helios. If Archon's opinion is that protocols are not to our benefit, accept his wisdom. He is the Senate's voice in Helios and must be obeyed.
She doesn't sound completely convinced.
I wouldn't read too much into it. Even if there's fractures within the Kett, they still operate like a monolithic unified army. And that's who we have to contend with.
Good point, kid, but no reason we shouldn't monitor this situation.
We'll keep an ear to the ground, see if anything comes up.
The temperature is falling, Pathfinder.
Giles said he wanted to see you. Pathfinder. I should get back to things. Sounds good?
Why can't you just ask her yourself?
Because.
Because?
Just because.
Fine. Lexi, PB wants to look at Giles' scans.
PB knows I can't divulge patient information.
Useless. I take it you moved your stuff over from the Nexus?
Yeah, my squatter's paradise is all the more cluttered. What's up?
I like it when you flirt. I wouldn't want you to stop.
Have I flirted with you? Don't worry, Ryder. I'm relentless. It relaxes me.
Thanks for chatting. We'll talk again later.
You know it.
I thought I hated the Kett before. Then we learned about exaltation. I can't even begin to imagine how Jal feels about this.
I was curious about you and Sid, being on your own from such a young age.
Yeah, I really wouldn't recommend it.
Where was your mother in all this?
Back on Palaven, I suppose. She was an awful person. All she cared about was climbing the ranks. She and my dad fought all the time. I think at the end they hated each other. When things were really tough, I thought about going back. But she wouldn't have accepted us. Whatever my dad did destroyed any chance of that.
Where was home? Palaven?
No, we'd already left Palaven by then. Whatever our dad was involved in meant we weren't welcome there. I hadn't even gone to boot camp yet. Sid was barely a year old. We eventually settled in a mining colony in the Minos wasteland. 2 years later, our dad was gone.
How did he keep you and your sister afloat?
I was barely more than a kid myself, so lots of unskilled work. Construction jobs. No one else would do the dangerous stuff, so I would. Being up high, crawling under things. I could shoot a gun, so eventually I moved into smuggling. Even more dangerous, but lucrative. We were never rich, but we got too comfortable.
You probably have work to do. We can chat later.
You know where to find me.
Joel?
Thank you for checking. But I'm all right.
Don't know if I would be.
I have to be. How else do we go on? You know?
I may seem tough, but I have a good shoulder.
That's kind. You're kind. I really miss my family at times like these. Are you close to your family?
You talk about family a lot.
Really? I guess it's just part of our culture. Our families are large, and we share our parents with the community. We all have many mothers.
My family's small.
And are you close?
I am. My mom and dad are dead. My brother's in a medically induced coma. I'm kind of an orphan at the moment.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, this random collection of Tempest oddballs can feel like family sometimes.
Yeah. I never really felt I had a purpose. But here, I do.
What about the Resistance?
My place in the Resistance is not what I'd like.
But that kid on Aya looked up to you.
Sure. But you are going to do something important, Ryder. I feel it. This is where I should be.
I like having you around. Specifically you.
Because of my skill and knowledge?
Not really.
Because you enjoy spending time with me as much as I do with you.
You do?
Yes. You're fascinating. And special. And strange.
Aw, thanks.
And I mean it. There's always more to say and to learn, isn't there?
Can I ask you a few more questions?
Of course. If I can answer them, I will.
Did you always want to be a fighter? Did you study anything particular in school?
No. I don't like to talk about it. But I'm not a fighter. Not really. The Kett occupation creates chaos. So our education is chaotic. I'm not really anything. But that's an excuse. The truth is, I don't know what I want. Yet. For my life. At my age. I hope being here will inspire me.
Can you tell me about your family? Assuming you have one.
Sit down. This will take time. Is someone bringing us snacks and drinks?
Whoa, your family's that big?
I have one true mother, Sahuna. And more than 5 additional mothers. And many, many, many siblings. And cousins. All raised together. Our families constantly change and evolve. Relationships come and they go. My father is gone. Taken. Or killed. By the Kett. We never found his body.
I'm sorry about that, Jal. I understand. I just lost my dad.
Something in common between aliens, then. We are fatherless. Yet we fight on. Anything else you want to ask?
Do Angara plan their futures? Do you dream about what you want to accomplish?
You put plan and dream in the same question.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You meant to do that. Angara thirst for now. We don't strive to make the future better. We strive because the present is lacking.
Well, enough about that. I'll see you later, Jal.
Stay strong and clear.
They aren't just conquerors or slavers. The Kett turn everything you are to their advantage. Worst kind of enemy. The one that makes you fight your own people.
That's what Jal faces every day, now that we know the truth.
Friends, neighbors, all changed. And they're loyal to what changed them.
You're pretty worked up about this.
Kandros wants strategies for handling the Kett. I talked with Drac, putting ideas together. Expand our guerrilla tactics, get Angaran military advisors, research exaltation. Just, I don't know. Wish your dad could give me his take.
Why? This all looks fine to me.
Nasira, your father, they always had a plan I could follow. Without one, it's too easy for people to get hurt. Like now. The Initiative's plans are shot, and people die because of it.
We're flying blind. It'll take years to put all the pieces back together.
Our biggest headache is the Kett. Work goes on, I guess. Sarissa will have a strategy. Just need to find her and the other Asari. It'll be good to have certainty again. Ryder?
Any more Commando war stories?
We once infiltrated a dangerous cult by posing as new initiates. Valenza hated it. She was like our padre. The cult, that perversion of faith, really upset her.
How did you stop them?
Nasira pretended that Valenza needed to be purified of evil. She was given a private audience with the cult leader. Valenza shot her, and then prayed for her.
See you later, Cora.
I'll be here.
Now, exaltation. The Kett just keep asking for more trouble.
Really looking forward to kicking those guys in the teeth.
Get us there, and we'll save you a place in line.
Hey, kid.
Got any stories or advice to share?
Does a pie jack scratch its butt?
Tell me more about fighting Kett.
So, Chosen, it's not good to let too many of them get close to you at once. If they hit your shields, take a step back. Let me handle them. Bet you anything they're not used to being rushed by a Krogan.
Tell me more about fighting Kett.
Fire and explosives are good against anything with heavy armor. Or anything, really. Generally, no one likes being set on fire.
Generally? There's a story behind this.
Ha, there sure is.
You mentioned that people generally don't like being set on fire.
I was hoping you'd ask. So, about 400 years ago, give or take a decade, me and my outfit were pinned down during a skirmish with another merc group. So I pull off my usual stunt, charge ahead and breach their barricade. Pop my flamethrower and get ready to let go. Only to see them all screaming and running away. Turns out, I'd crashed through a shipment of Turian brandy on my way in. Never even noticed I was on fire. But they sure did. Never seen a pack of mercs panic that badly before.
We can talk more later.
Sure.
Would you mind taking a slight detour and dropping me back in the Milky Way?
What's the problem?
Little something I just heard about called exaltation.
Guess you should have read the fine print on the initiative brochure.
Or read it at all. I gotta start eating more protein and getting a full night's sleep. It'll take everything we got to get through this mess.
Good talking to you, Gil.
Anytime.
I only wish we could have saved more.
How you feeling, Moshe Sefer?
Weak, but I'll bounce back. I always have. I've broken each limb twice. You have to do more than wipe my immune system to take me down.
Oh, you and my mom would love each other. Still waiting on our visit to Aya. Useful, but also fun. Looking forward to it.
Just checking in. I wanted to ask about you.
What do you want to know?
I have to know about the car.
We'd wrench on it as a family. Mom suggested it, and Dad liked a happy mom. That's how I fell into mechanical stuff. Armor and jump jets. Mom wasn't a fan of the second part. You know how it is.
I worried my parents from time to time.
That's a kid's job. I'll probably cross the line a few times, though. Like jumping a galaxy. That's why I have to make this work. If I don't, then Andromeda was a mistake. I said goodbye to too many people to let that happen.
Tell me about your friends in crisis response.
I swore I wouldn't tell anyone what they did. Stealing the shuttle for the car was above and beyond. Dondi, Base, Mazzy, Noel, Cap, and goddamn Hammond. The best people when buildings are falling down. Eventually, I'll have to start a new branch here, you know? I promised.
We'll talk later.
I know it.
You still have questions. I'll try to answer them.
So, exaltation is how the Kett reproduce. How did you learn that?
They're proud of it. They welcomed us and spoke of it openly. We were becoming them. To the Kett, all other life is inferior. Even, I suspect, humans.
They're going to a lot of trouble just to make baby Kett.
I guess it's also a way for them to control their evolution. They incorporate only traits they value, and unique adaptations they don't possess.
So what are the chances the Kett have exalted other intelligent species? Somewhere?
I'd say those chances are excellent.
The Cardinal said she had the Archon's DNA. So was the Cardinal exalted too?
From what they described, I think they can be exalted multiple times. They strive always to be greater. And the Archon's DNA somehow plays a role in all of it.
It looked like some of your people wanted this Kett gift. They walked right into those pods.
As did I. Voluntarily. Happily. But that is part of the process. Part of the preparation, they called it purification, stripped our systems of all defenses. It was very painful. But after the pain came a beautiful peace, like a trance, like a transcendence itself. I willingly walked into that pod, and I cannot fault anyone else who did the same.
Sam downloaded what he could from the facility. We'll be studying exaltation for quite a while. What was happening in that facility? It felt like a religion or a cult.
Perhaps, but not to them. They honestly believe they are giving us a gift.
The Cardinal seemed desperate to keep that place standing.
The entire facility seemed dedicated to one thing: exaltation. That's why I asked you to destroy it, despite the lives it would cost. I hope the Resistance can still burn it to the ground, but I suspect the Kett have already re-engineered that shield.
How long were you in that facility?
Days? After the Archon decided I would be exalted, I was sent to the facility alone. I was housed with prisoners who described how they were kidnapped, taken to holding camps, analyzed and separated.
Analyzed?
Until now, we never understood why some of us were sent to slave camps and others just vanished. The Archon chose to exalt me, to use me for my knowledge. Perhaps others were chosen for their genetics.
The Chosen.
I'm only theorizing. I am a scientist, after all.
I'll let you rest.
Wait. One more thing. I spoke to a guard, a former Resistance fighter who remembered me. It described everything about its past, our past, with no trace of emotion. It seems that victims retain memories of who they were, but after being exalted, they live only to serve the Kett. Does your species dream?
Sometimes.
A Kett remembers being Angara. Like a dream it's eager to forget, which is beyond comprehension. Ishari, Pathfinder. I'm sure we'll talk again.
Voeld orbit is steady.